It said that you landed your gig as Metallica's lead guitarist without even having to audition. That's true?
Yeah.
Were they familiar with your guitar playing already? And no, not at all?
Mm-mm.
Were there actual auditions, or was it just you were there and they're like, just come play with us, man?
Well, what happened was we'd gone to Ron McGovney's parents' house where he was living, and they had a little area. I don't even know what you call it because I'm not a realtor, but you know, when you have a bunch of condos next to each other, there was like a driveway that went back, and there were several houses that were duplexes that were lined up down the street. And so Ron had his own duplex with a garage that we had for rehearsing, and I went in there and I set my stuff up, and I was just tuning my guitar, and I came in and I said, okay, so you know, are we gonna do the audition? They said, no, you got the job, and I was just warming up. So I think what they heard pretty much impressed them to the point where they didn't need to do that. Yeah. And James wasn't playing guitar at the time too. I don't know if you've seen those pictures of him where he's got his mic stand and I'm the only one with the guitar. Mm-hmm. So it was a pretty big load to take, being the only guitar player in a band.
It said that you once poured a full can of beer down Ron McGovney's bass, which gave him an electric shock that blew him across the room.
That's a lie.
That sounded false to me.
Yeah. Ron, who I'm friends with now, had someone who was an acquaintance of mine jump through his window, take a bunch of his records.
Oh, geez.
And Ron was right to be mad, but he blamed me for it. And I was so offended that I poured a beer into his guitar.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it to hurt him, and anybody with half a brain cell knows that if you pour liquid into an object that, you know, is not plugged in at the moment, and it wasn't, because why would Ron be wearing a guitar and let me pour a beer into it? As soon as you do that, it stops working.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not just gonna fly across the room.
And plus, don't you think you would have heard that story before from me?
This was the first time I heard this story.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I would have said something about it.
It would have been a great story if it was possible.
Plus the stuff that I've done in my past, if there was something I did that was not cool, unless the guy deserved it, you know, I've made amends to people for it. Yeah. I mean, some people are assholes and they just need what they have coming to them. But, you know, if I've done something in my past where, you know, it's done something to somebody who didn't deserve it, you know, I've cleaned up the wreckage of my past. Pretty good. I'm sure there's still some people out there that, you know, I've done stuff to that I don't remember yet. But, you know, we've got a really great way of our paths crossing and us being able to make stuff up. Like I saw something from Ricky Rackman recently, and he had said something, and I was kind of bummed because, you know, he had said that that he thought that I really didn't like him, and I like him. The whole thing we did with MTV was a gag, you know.
Okay.
Because whenever we were off camera, what people never saw was, you know, Ricky and I laughing and yucking it up and stuff like that. So that's the guy that I remember. I don't remember the guy that, you know, I would pick on, because it was like a, you know, gag for TV.
Sure.
So yeah, that's a cool thing too, to be able to, you know, clear that up and let them know that, hey, you know what, I really didn't dislike you. It was just a thing, and you know, I'm actually excited, not excited because I think that's bullshit, but I'm happy for his success, because, you know, all the guys that we were part of this little clique in Hollywood, you know, and to see any one of us, you know, Slash and David used to hang out together, and Ricky and all those guys, there was a circle of us. Although some of us were a little different, we all were part of that circle. So it made me happy to see that he was still doing stuff.